Governor Mike Huckabee, our old friend, this morning. Bat around some of the news today. There's a lot going on. Good to see you, Governor.
Morning, Governor.
Good to be with you, Tucker. Happy Mother's Day to all.
So you're from Arkansas. You've watched the Clinton saga for almost 30 years now, I guess. Yeah. And you've been watching this week, I know, as Donald Trump has gone after Hillary in a pretty specific way. Here's part of what he said.
Does the party have to be together? Does it have to be unified? I'm very different than everybody else, perhaps, that's ever run for office. I actually don't think so, because I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to get millions of people from the Democrats. I'm going to get Bernie people to vote because they like me on trade. I have to stay true to my principles also. Don't forget, this is called the Republican Party. It's not called the Conservative Party.
So the soundbite didn't match the question, but you can roll with it. Do you think Donald Trump is right that he doesn't need to unite the party in order to win?
Well, in a way, I think he may be right. Look, he doesn't have to bring everybody together. Some people have already said they're not going to be with him. I mean, you've heard this from Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan. People said, you know, I'll never vote for Trump. Okay, fine, but a lot of people are. And I think when he says I don't have to unite the party, he has to unite the voters. And sometimes the voters go a different direction than do the elites. And that's what's happened in this election cycle. And so what we're going to see is a very different kind of voting mix. You've seen it on the Democrat side. That's why Bernie has done so well. He's shocked the Democrat elites, and Donald Trump has shocked the Republican elites. Bottom line, the people in Washington still don't get it. People are mad at them. It's about them, and it's not good. And instead of recognizing that, apologizing, and changing their directions, they just stick their nose higher in the air and act like that those poor, dumb idiots out there in America have no reason to be upset. Well, they do have a reason to be upset.
Forgive me if you've heard this question before. It has to do with the Clintons. You know them well. You know the Clintons well. Donald Trump's line of attack recently, of course, saying, look, you're going to lecture me. You're going to lecture me about relationships and women. Here's some of Donald's attacks yesterday on the campaign trail. Listen.
She's married to a man who was the worst abuser of women in the history of politics. She's married to a man who hurt many women, and Hillary, if you look and you study, Hillary hurt many women, the women that he abused. She's married to a man who got impeached for lying.
Nobody, perhaps in the history of politics, was worse to women or abused women more than Bill Clinton. And she's taking negative ads on me. Do you remember the famous, I did not have sex with that woman, and then a couple of months later, I'm guilty. And she's taking negative ads on me. Look, folks, this politics is a dirty business.
Okay, so two questions there. Will that work? Will that line of attack from Donald Trump work? And you know the Clintons well. How will they respond?
Well, first of all, let's talk about how Donald Trump is responding. It's going to be incendiary. Anybody who thinks that this is a movie entitled Love Story has got it wrong. This is a movie, if it's going to be called one, it'll be There Will Be Blood. And there will be. This is going to be a rough and tumble election, a cage match, not a game of checkers. Most politics is, but I think we need to expect this will be worse than normal, because the Clintons have a long, long history of scorched earth when it's necessary. Now, they will do less than that, but in this case, it's going to require an extraordinary level of just, you know, going after and essentially creating the equivalent of political napalm. And Donald Trump is the one guy who doesn't mind giving, not just as good as it was given, but giving it back more. And if anybody doesn't expect that, they have not been watching the primary.
Well, speaking of giving, it is in fact Mother's Day. And if you are scrambling to find that perfect gift, Chelsea Clinton has an idea for you. She says you can give to her mother, Hillary Clinton. Governor, always good to have you on the show. I was wondering if that's what you're going to give your wife this morning for Mother's Day.
Well, you know, it's the hardest thing in the world, and if I tell you, I'll be telling her because she's going to be watching, and so therefore, why don't we just let it be our little secret that I'll tell you off camera? How's that?
So you're not going to do the Chelsea Clinton, I mean, Chelsea Clinton's asking for Americans.
Forgive me, but I'm probably not going to send Hillary a contribution for Mother's Day. You know, I think I'd rather probably be dipped in boiling oil before I would encourage her presidential campaign at this point.
It sounds like that Seinfeld episode where you're giving money to, like George Costanza invents a charity, you give to the Human Fund. He just made up a charity. You know what? I didn't get you a Mother's Day gift this year. I donated my money to Hillary Clinton.
Because when you think motherhood, obviously you think Hillary. Governor, it was great to see you this morning. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
Well, President Obama has this message for the class of 2016.
Be confident in your blackness. There's no one way to be black.